The chandeliers inside the Astoria Hotel in Manhattan gleamed like 1,000 frozen constellations suspended above a world too gilded to be real. Every crystal reflected the shimmer of diamonds. Every golden surface echoed the whispered envy of the city's elite. Tonight was not just another wedding. It was the wedding of the year, the billion-dollar union that bound together the empire of Alex Lewis, the youngest self-made billionaire in America, with the poised socialite Vivian Cross. The press called it destiny. The society pages called it perfection. But in the shadow of velvet curtains and marble pillars, 4 children watched with eyes too sharp for their age and hearts far too heavy for innocence. The groom stood with the ease of a man who commanded corporations and oceans. Yet his gaze was distant, his smile half a mask. Alex Lewis, 32, son of old money but builder of greater fortune, was everything the cameras adored. Tall, devastatingly handsome, impeccably tailored in a midnight tuxedo. But behind his steel blue eyes, there was hollowness, a restlessness no wealth could pacify. Beside him glowed Vivian Cross in an ivory gown that glittered like liquid starlight. Her smile was sharp, her beauty cultivated like a weapon. She wasn't simply a bride, but a silk and lace conquest tonight. And in the front row sat Evelyn Lewis, Alex's mother, regal in emerald velvet. Her lips curved faintly, a queen satisfied that her dynasty would expand, that her son had finally moved on. Yet if one looked closely, there was a shadow inside Alex's stance, a tension around his jaw. The vow that trembled in the air was not born of love, but of duty, of carefully calculated expectations. "This is history," murmured one guest, champagne flute trembling. "A billion-dollar wedding. Who could have imagined Saeed another?" "They say Alex never recovered from her death," whispered a third. "Selena Victor, the wife who died 6 years ago. He searched for her body for months. The name hung unspoken, forbidden. Selena, the woman Alex had loved once so profoundly, the memory still clung to his every breath. She was dead. Everyone knew. Everyone accepted everyone but Alex, perhaps. Upstairs, hidden in the control room, overlooking the grand ballroom, Nova tapped at her sleek laptop screens, glowing around her like constellations. At 14, her brilliance was not a secret among her siblings, but tonight, she was commander of an invisible army. "It's time," she said softly, eyes narrowing at the cascade of code. Ace, her twin, by minutes, straightened his little tie. 11 years old, but carrying himself like a general in miniature. His smirk mirrored the man below. "The groom won't know what hit him." In the corner, Ivy, the sensitive one, bit her lip nervously. She was only 9 curls framing a face too tender for revenge. "Mom will be angry if she finds out. Mom will thank us." Leo, the youngest at 7, said defiantly, "He's about to marry a witch." They were too young to understand fully the depth of betrayal. Yet they understood one truth: their mother's tears had never dried. Tonight, justice would speak even in children's mischievous, dangerous voice. The ballroom screens flickered as Vivian lifted her chin for the officiant's solemn question. The pristine slideshow of rose gardens and luxury yachts twisted into static. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Then across the 30-foot LED wall, words blazed in furious scarlet. "Father, have you forgotten us?" Gasps erupted. Champagne glasses shattered against marble. The orchestra fell into discordant silence. Alex's eyes widened. A ripple of shock, then fury, crossed his face. His voice, low and controlled, snapped to his head of security. "Find out who did this, now!" But the sabotage didn't stop. File after file flashed across the screens. Internal memos, confidential tenders, projects worth billions, all secrets of Louis Global. The empire's underbelly was exposed before hundreds of journalists, investors, and politicians. Evelyn Lewis's face blanched to porcelain fury. Vivian's hand clawed at Alex's sleeve. Her hiss sharp fixed this. "Do you know what this will do to your stock?" But Alex had already turned pale, because in one photograph that surfaced on the screen, there was a face he had buried in his soul 6 years ago. Selena, smiling alive in memory. The doors of the ballroom slammed open. The crowd gasped as a boy in a miniature tuxedo strode down the crimson aisle, chin raised in defiance. His resemblance to Alex was uncanny, haunting, like a mirror of youth resurrected. Whispers broke out instantly. "Is that Alex's child?" Impossible. He never remarried. But look at him. The same eyes, the same bone structure. The boy stopped before the altar, hands clenched into fists. His voice rang out clear, fierce. "You don't deserve to stand here. Alex Lewis, not after what you did to my mother." The room collapsed into pandemonium. Cameras surged. Security hesitated, as if afraid to lay a hand on the boy. Alex stared down, shaken to his core. "Who are you?" His voice cracked against the weight of something unspoken, something terrifyingly possible. The boy's eyes, his own eyes, glared back. "I'm your son," Vivian shrieked, hysteria breaking her composure. "This is madness! Security, remove him! He's a street rat, an imposter." But the boy raised a small flash drive high. "You want the truth? Play this. It will show you who my mother is." Alex felt his knees weaken. His heart thundered, whispering the name he had tried to bury. "Selena. Where is your mother?" His voice trembled softer now, desperate. The boy's lips twisted into a bitter smile. "Alive despite everything you let happen." Before Alex could reply, the ballroom screens flickered once more. And there she was. Not grainy, not imagined. A woman with warm brown skin, radiant eyes, and a gentle yet defiant smile. Selena Victor. The crowd gasped. Some clutched their pearls. Others crossed themselves as if seeing a ghost. Alex staggered backward, breath caught in his throat. "Selena." His whisper was half a prayer, half disbelief. Vivian's scream sliced through the hall. "She's dead. This is a trick. She died 6 years ago." But no one listened. The image burned itself into every heart present. Selena had returned, if only as light and memory. As chaos consumed the hall, Alex's eyes caught something, an impossible detail. On Vivian's delicate wrist glittered a silver bracelet engraved faintly with 2 letters, SV. His blood turned to fire. He lunged forward, seizing her wrist. "Where did you get this?" His voice was thunder, raw with anguish. "This was Selena's. I gave it to her on our wedding day. Only one existed." Vivian's face drained of color. Alex, listen. I can explain." The crowd leaned in, scandal electrifying the air. Alex's grip tightened. His eyes, storm blue and merciless, bore into hers. "Explain. You mean confess? Because if this bracelet is here, then Selena was never gone." 3 more children emerged from the corner of the ballroom, Nova, Ivy, and little Leo. They lined up beside Ace, forming an unbreakable wall of defiance. Nova, calm and precise, spoke for them all. "You thought your sins were buried, but the truth always finds its way back." Leo piped up with childish fury. "You're a terrible dad, and you don't deserve Mom." Ivy's eyes were filled with tears, her small voice trembling. "She cried every night because of you." The ballroom spun into madness. Journalists screamed questions. Socialites gasped behind jeweled fans. Investors fled for their cars. And Alex Lewis, billionaire, kingmaker, untouchable titan, stood frozen undone by 4 children and the ghost of the only woman he had ever loved. Security surged forward, but Alex raised his hand, halting them. His voice broke the air like a whip, commanding yet lost. No one touches them. He turned slowly, eyes scanning the children, then the glowing image of Selena on the screen. Selena. His whisper was raw, pleading. If you're alive, come back to me. The boy Ace lifted his chin, cold fire burning in his gaze. You don't get to ask for her anymore. You'll answer to us first. And with that, the screens went black. Darkness swallowed the ballroom, leaving only chaos, questions, and the trembling echo of a truth too dangerous to contain. The ballroom of the Astoria still smelled of champagne and chaos the morning after. Newspapers splashed headlines in bold across every stand. The billion-dollar wedding destroyed by a child's accusation. Ghost of Selena Victor returns. Is Alex Lewis hiding an heir? Investors panicked. The stock market quivered, and socialites whispered with glee. Yet amid the storm, Alex Lewis sat alone in his penthouse, staring at the silver bracelet he had ripped from Vivian's wrist. The engraving SV was no illusion. It was Selena's. He remembered how she had laughed when he clasped it on her hand 6 years ago, saying, "Now you can never forget me." He had never forgotten, but he had believed the world when they told him she was gone. Alex's empire was built on precision, but he felt only disorder that night. His security chiefs crowded his study, but he dismissed them with a flick. He didn't want excuses. He wanted the truth. Find the children, he commanded, his voice low, dangerous. Find the woman. Yet when silence returned, he pressed his fingers to his temples. For the first time in years, the titan of finance felt like a man drowning, far from the glittering skyline in a brownstone hidden in Harlem's quieter streets. Selena Victor closed her laptop, her heart pounding from the images she had just seen. She had not intended for the children to reveal themselves so boldly. Their plan was supposed to be careful, step by step, but they were young, fiery, and carried her stubborn blood. Nova stormed into the room first. "Mom, we had to do it. He was going to marry that woman." Selena's voice, though firm, was soft enough to hold back tears. "You don't understand what you've risked. He wasn't supposed to know yet." Leo climbed onto the sofa beside her, pressing his little cheek against her arm. "But Mom, you saw his face. He still loves you." Her chest tightened. Once she would have believed that love could survive anything. But 6 years of exile had burned away illusions. Selena walked to the window, watching rain streak the glass. Memories rose unbidden. The night of betrayal, when she had discovered Vivian Cross in Alex's suite. The poison of Evelyn's cold smile. The news the next morning was that her brother Marcus Victor had been accused of a crime he never committed. And then the fire set to erase her from the world. But she had survived, scarred in body and spirit. With the help of a friend who owed her family loyalty, she had changed her name, rebuilt her face, and vanished. Yet every night when silence grew unbearable, she had whispered one name: Alex. Back in the Louis estate, Evelyn Lewis's fury could have frozen oceans. She cornered Vivian in the drawing room, her voice ablade. "You let a ghost ruin everything." Vivian trembled, clutching her gown. "I didn't know. That bracelet, he gave it to me years ago. I thought..." "You thought Evelyn's laugh was cruel. Do you understand what is at stake? If Selena is alive, your marriage means nothing. The fortune, the name, the empire, it all returns to her." Vivian's painted nails dug into her palms. "Then she cannot be allowed to return." Evelyn's eyes glittered like emerald ice. "See to it." At night, Selena's apartment pulsed with hushed arguments. "Mom, Uncle Marcus's case is still open," Nova said, eyes fierce. The files Dad's company tried to bury, those could free him. Selena turned sharply. Nova, no. Your children, not soldiers. Ace folded his arms. We're more than that. We're his children too. He needs to know what they did to you. He needs to pay for letting them destroy us. Selena's voice broke. You think revenge will heal us? It won't. I want the truth. I like Marcus free. That's all. But in the silence that followed, she admitted inwardly she wanted more. She wanted Alex to look into her eyes again and regret every moment he had believed she was gone. Days passed. Alex combed through every lead with obsessive precision. He found the hacker's trail, traced it to neighborhoods his chauffeurs had never driven. He sent men to question shopkeepers, teachers, doctors. Every road led to shadows. But one night, he found something. A single photograph slipped anonymously into his office. A picture of Selena disguised with shorter hair walking down a Harlem street with 4 children. His heart stopped. She was alive and hiding from him. For hours, he sat in silence, fingers trembling over the photograph. He wanted to run to her, to fall on his knees and beg forgiveness. Yet anger roared louder. Why had she left him? Why had she not trusted him? Why had she borne his children in secret? Selena knew he was searching. She felt it in every shadow, every echo of footsteps behind her. One evening, as she left a bookstore, she felt a presence close, too close. Her breath caught. For a heartbeat, she thought it was Alex, but it was worse. Vivian Cross stepped from the alley, her smile venomous. You should have stayed dead, Selena. Selena froze, instincts sharp. You're trespassing in a life that was never yours. Vivian's laugh was brittle. He belongs to me now. You'll never have him back. And those children? Selena's eyes flashed steel beneath warmth. Touch them, and I swear the world will watch you burn. Vivian's lips curved. We'll see. She vanished into the night, leaving Selena trembling with fury. Meanwhile, fate tangled another thread. Alex's men tracked down Ace after school. The boy fought like a lion, hurling insults with every kick. Please don't touch me, you liar, he shouted, even as Alex caught his wrist gently. Alex's heart fractured. Up close, the resemblance was undeniable. The jawline, the stormy defiance, his son. Who raised you to hate me? Alex whispered, voice rough. Ace spat. The truth did. Nova appeared before Alex could ask more, dragging her brother away with a warning glare sharp enough to wound. But in her eyes, Alex saw something else. Not just hatred, a question, a test. That night, Selena pressed her children close, her voice trembling. He found you, Ace muttered. He doesn't deserve to be called our father. Nova added quietly. But he's searching, Mom. Maybe he doesn't know everything. Selena's chest ached. 6 years ago, she had buried hope. Now it clawed its way back, fragile and dangerous. Was Alex a betrayer? Or was he a man deceived, as much a victim as she? One stormy evening, Alex stood on the balcony of his penthouse, rain soaking his suit, staring across the city. Selena, he whispered into the night, come back to me, or I will tear this city apart to find you. Selena tucked Leo into bed at that very moment, only blocks away. The rain lashed against her window, and for the briefest heartbeat, she swore she heard his voice in the storm. Her hand trembled on the glass. Her lips parted, whispering words she could not admit to her children. Alex, I never stopped loving you. But outside, her building headlights cut through the rain. A black car waited, and from it stepped Alex Lewis himself. Rain swept across Manhattan like a curtain of silver needles, washing neon lights into trembling rivers along the streets. At the corner of 128th Street, a black car idled quietly. Inside sat Alex Lewis, His hands clenched around the steering wheel, gaze fixed on the modest brownstone across the road. The building looked ordinary, peeling paint, flower pots wilting on windowsills, children's drawings taped behind foggy glass. Yet Alex's pulse raced like the gate to another world. Because behind one of those windows lived the woman who had haunted him for 6 long years. Selena. He had followed the trail, an anonymous photograph, a whisper from Harlem, a glimpse of children who bore his eyes. Tonight, instinct had driven him here. When the door creaked open, his heart stopped. A slender figure stepped into the rain umbrella, shielding her face. She moved with the same grace he remembered, that quiet dignity even storms could not dim. Selena. He breathed, his voice lost against the drumming rain. He almost opened the door and ran to her. But then from the shadows, 4 more miniature figures hurried after her, tugging at her coat. Children. His children. The sight tore through him. He wasn't ready, not like this, not without answers. So he stayed hidden in the dark, watching her shepherd them into a waiting cab. The vehicle pulled away, taillights dissolving into mist. Alex sat frozen, drenched in silence. He had seen her. She was alive. Yet she was also farther away than ever. Inside the cab, Selena Victor pressed her palm over her pounding heart. She had felt something, a weight in the air, a gaze burning across the rain. For one terrifying second, she had believed Alex stood somewhere close. Mom. Ivy's soft voice broke her reverie. Why are your hands shaking? Selena forced a smile, brushing damp curls from her daughter's forehead. It's just the storm, sweetheart. But deep inside, she knew storms didn't scare her. Alex did. The thought of him finding them before she was ready, before Marcus's innocence could be proven, filled her with dread. Still, when the memory of his blue eyes returned, part of her ached, with something dangerously close to hope. Later that night, after Selena tucked Leo into bed and dimmed the lights, Nova gathered her siblings in a whispered council. We can't wait forever, Nova declared, her tone fierce. Mom loves him. He still loves her. The only thing standing between them is fear. Ace frowned, arms crossed. Fear keeps us safe. He abandoned her once. Why should we trust him? But didn't you see him at the wedding? Ivy whispered. His face. He looked like he'd seen a miracle. Leo yawned, clinging to his blanket. I want a dad, even if he's mean sometimes. Nova's gaze hardened. Then we'll make them meet on our terms. The pact was sealed in silence, 4 small hands joining in the moonlight. Meanwhile, Vivian hurled a crystal vase against the fireplace at the Cross estate. Shards glittered like fallen stars across the rug. I won't let her steal everything I've worked for, she screamed. From her armchair, Evelyn Lewis sipped brandy with cold detachment. Hysteria doesn't suit you, Vivian. Focus. If Selena is alive, Alex's loyalty will tilt back to her, which we cannot allow. Vivian's eyes burned. What do you suggest? Evelyn leaned forward, her voice a velvet dagger. If Selena wants to fight for her brother's innocence, we cut the rope where it hurts. Destroy the evidence before she finds it. And if she insists on resurfacing, make sure she disappears for good this time. Vivian shivered. Evelyn's cruelty was legendary, but tonight it was the only weapon she had left. In his penthouse, Alex poured himself a glass of scotch he barely tasted. The city stretched beneath him, but his thoughts were far away in another time, another life. He remembered the first time he saw Selena, a charity gala, where she had stood in a gown too simple for the crowd, yet more radiant than any jewel. While others fawned over wealth, she had spoken of music, dreams, and building shelters for children without homes. She had been warmth where his world was cold, and he had loved her with a devotion he thought unbreakable, until betrayal had torn them apart. His jaw tightened. He needed answers. Was she truly alive by her own choice? Or had she been forced into shadows? And why had she hidden his children from him? Selena wasn't alone in her battle. In a dim cafe downtown, she met Daniel Hale, an old friend of Marcus's, and once a quiet ally within Lewis Global. "You don't have much time," Daniel warned, sliding a folder across the table. "Marcus's trial is being reviewed. If you can prove Cross Industries manipulated the evidence, he can be freed." Selena opened the folder, her hands trembling. Inside were photographs, financial records, and one grainy security video, enough to spark doubt, perhaps enough to crack the truth open. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice raw. Daniel studied her with quiet concern. "Are you sure about this path? Once Alex discovers you're alive, there's no turning back." Her eyes softened with pain. "He already knows, or he will soon. And when he does, I don't know whether he'll hold me or destroy me." Days later, fate spun its cruel thread again. Selena entered a crowded library, searching archives for records tied to Marcus's case. Alex stepped in at the far end of the hall, guided by his investigators. Neither knew the other was there until silence fell. Their eyes met across the rows of books. For a heartbeat, the world stilled. He froze, breathless, drinking in the sight of her alive. She gripped the shelf, color draining from her face. "Selena!" His voice broke the silence, trembling with disbelief and longing. But before she could answer, a sudden fire alarm blared. Sprinklers erupted, drenching the room in chaos. In the confusion, Selena slipped away through a side door, heart hammering. Alex was left standing alone, water dripping from his hair, whispering to no one. "I won't lose you again." That night, Nova cracked into another server. "Mom, look. Marcus's arrest was built on false testimony. Someone paid off a witness." Selena scanned the files, her chest tightening. The signature on the transactions was unmistakable. Vivian Cross. Her fists clenched. Now she knew who had orchestrated Marcus's fall, but proving it meant entering dangerous waters. Across the city, Vivian toasted Evelyn with a cruel smile. If Selena digs further, she'll bury herself. But neither woman realized Selena was no longer the fragile bride they had once tried to erase. She was a mother now, a fighter. Late at night, Alex received an anonymous package at his penthouse. Inside was a USB drive labeled with 2 words, "For the truth." He inserted it into his laptop. The screen lit up with a grainy video from 6 years ago, the night Marcus was accused. It showed not Marcus, but a different figure planting evidence. And the figure was unmistakable. Vivian Cross. Alex's breath caught fury and clarity colliding in his chest. The betrayal was more profound than he had ever known. Selena held the duplicate footage across town in her trembling hands at that very moment. For the first time in 6 years, their truths aligned. But in the city's shadows, Evelyn Lewis knew the footage had leaked. And she whispered into the darkness, "Then Selena must disappear permanently." The storm that had drenched Manhattan gave way to a brittle dawn. Yet the city's heart pulsed with whispers, rumors of the wedding disaster still circling like hungry wolves. For Alex Lewis, sleep had become a stranger. His nights were spent replaying the grainy footage delivered in that anonymous package, Vivian Cross slipping into a warehouse, planting evidence that would condemn Marcus Victor to prison. Every frame was a dagger, every second a revelation. Vivian sat in the Louis Mansion's glass atrium, her face carefully painted into serenity. But when Alex strode in, storm-eyed and cold, her calm faltered. "You lied to me," Alex said, his voice low, lethal. He slammed the laptop onto the table. The video replayed in damning silence. Vivian's face blanched, then hardened. "That's not what it looks like." "It looks," Alex said, "advancing like you framed Marcus Victor. And because of you, Selena's family was destroyed. His voice caught on her name, but he pressed forward. Because of you, I believed she was gone. Vivian's composure cracked. Why do you still care about a ghost? She left you. I am here. Here. His laugh was harsh. You stole years of my life. And will I stand by your side after this? From the shadows, Evelyn Lewis's voice cut through. Enough. The matriarch stepped into the light elegance wrapped around cruelty. Vivian may have crossed lines, but she did so to protect you. To protect this family. Protect me. Alex's fury was barely contained. By tearing apart the only woman I ever loved, Evelyn's gaze was cold emerald. Selena was never fit for this world. She was weak. She was a liability. And if she is truly alive, she remains a threat. Alex's jaw tightened. If she is alive, I will never let you touch her again. Evelyn smiled faintly, as if she had expected nothing less. Then, my son, you may force me to choose war. The night was quiet. Too quiet. The hum of the city seemed muffled, the air heavier than it should have been. Selena had just kissed Leo goodnight inside the brownstone, when a sound splintered the fragile calm. The grind of tires, the slam of car doors. Her instincts froze her mid-step. Danger. Black shadows moved across the street. Men in dark suits fanned out their boots, striking the pavement rhythmically. Selena's breath caught as she rushed to the window, heart slamming against her ribs. Mom Ivy's sleepy voice drifted from the hallway. Selena turned sharply, pulling her daughter close. Wake your brothers, now. We don't have much time. Within seconds, the children were huddled together, their eyes wide. Ace clenched his fists, defiant even in fear. Nova's gaze flicked toward the back door. They're here for us, Selena whispered. Stay close to me. Then glass shattered. A smoke canister rolled across the living room floor, spilling white clouds that burned their throats. Selena grabbed the emergency bag she had kept hidden for years. Her hands shook, but her voice was steady this way. Through the smoke, a figure lunged. Selena swung a lamp with fierce strength, striking him down. Her children gasped, but she didn't falter. No longer the woman who once cried in the shadows of betrayal. Selena Victor fought like a lioness. Every move screamed one truth. No one touches my children. Another man cornered them near the staircase. Ace, reckless with courage, hurled a vase at his head. The man staggered, giving Selena enough time to push her children toward the door. But as they reached the alley, headlights blazed. More men advanced, closing the trap. Selena pressed her children behind her chest, heaving. If this is where it ends, then I will burn with them. Then, out of the darkness, a roar of engines split the night. A sleek black car screeched to a halt, doors flying open. And from it emerged Alex Lewis, eyes blazing with fury. Selena. Her heart stuttered at the sound of his voice, raw with desperation. The intruders turned, but Alex was faster. His fists struck with brutal precision, years of controlled rage unleashed in a storm. One man fell, then another. Selena's children clung to her as they watched the Titan of Wall Street transform into their protector, his suit torn, his knuckles bloodied. When the last man fled into the shadows, Alex turned, chest heaving, his gaze locked on Selena. For a heartbeat, time stopped. You're alive, he whispered, voice breaking. Selena trembled, torn between fury and relief. You shouldn't be here. But before either could say more, Leo's frightened sob cut through. Alex's eyes softened as he looked at the boy who mirrored his younger self. Come with me, Alex said, his tone not a command, but a plea. It's not safe here. Reluctance warred with instinct, but Selena knew she had no choice. With the brownstone compromised, staying meant certain death. She herded her children into Alex's car. The leather seats smelled of cedar and rain. The city blurred past as he sped through empty streets, his hands gripping the wheel with white-knuckled determination. Selena sat stiffly beside him, every nerve on edge. The children whispered in the back, torn between awe and fear. Finally, Alex spoke, voice rough. "Vivian sent them. Or my mother. Maybe both." Selena's jaw tightened. "Then nothing has changed." His gaze flicked toward her, wounded. "Everything has changed. You're here. You're alive. And those children," he broke off, voice raw, "they're mine, aren't they?" Her silence was answer enough. Alex brought them to a secluded estate outside the city, guarded by his most loyal men. The children gaped at the grand halls and endless windows, their fear momentarily softened by wonder. But Selena remained tense, standing at the edge of the room, as Alex ordered guards to secure every entrance. When the house fell quiet, Alex approached her. "You should have told me," he said softly. Her eyes flashed. "Told you. After you betrayed me with her, after my brother was destroyed while you stood by." Pain shadowed his features. "I never betrayed you, Selena. What you saw, what you believed was a lie. I was deceived as much as you." Her throat tightened, tears burning, but she shook her head. "I can't believe you. Not yet." While the children slept in adjoining rooms that night, Selena wandered the estate's garden, moonlight pooling across marble paths. She paused by a fountain, the sound of water stirring old memories. Alex found her there, his footsteps quiet. "Do you remember Rome?" he asked, his voice almost the whispering fountain at Piazza Navona. "You said wishes were foolish, but you still threw a coin." Selena's lips trembled. "I wished for forever." "So did I." Silence fell heavy with the weight of what they had lost. His hand lifted as if to touch her cheek, but she stepped back, walls rising again. "Don't," she whispered. "Not when everything between us is built on ashes." Meanwhile, in the Cross estate, Vivian raged. How did they escape? How did he find her? Evelyn's calm voice cut through. "Because you underestimated him. And her. They're stronger together." Vivian's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll break them apart. Permanently." Evelyn's smile was thin, cruel. "We strike at what they love most, the children." Morning crept into the safe house. Selena prepared breakfast with her children, trying to cloak her fear with normalcy. Laughter returned briefly, Leo spilling milk, Ivy braiding Nova's hair, Ace pretending to be a soldier guarding the door. For a moment, they felt like a family. Then the sound of shattering glass tore it apart. Guards shouted. Alarms blared. Selena's blood turned to ice. She grabbed her children, but before they could flee, smoke filled the corridor. Hands seized Ivy in the chaos. Her scream echoed through the hall as she was dragged toward the shadows. Ivy. Selena's voice shattered. Alex fought through the smoke, eyes wild. He caught Selena's hand, gripping it fiercely. "We'll get her back. I swear it." Selena's tears burned as she met his gaze. For the first time, there was no choice, no doubt. They would have to fight together. The smoke cleared enough to reveal the impossible. Ivy was gone. The intruders had vanished, leaving only silence and despair. Selena collapsed to her knees, sobbing. Alex knelt beside her, his hand trembling as it touched her shoulder. "They've taken our daughter," he whispered, voice ragged with fury and grief. And in that moment, their fractured love became something more dangerous than either had imagined, a shared war. The safe house had fallen into a heavy silence that pressed against the walls. Selena sat on the edge of the bed, her hands trembling as she clutched Ivy's ribbon, snatched from the floor during the chaos. Her daughter's laughter, so vibrant hours ago, now echoed only as a memory. Her heart ached with a mother's torment, every breath sharp with guilt. Alex stood at the window, knuckles white as he gripped the frame. His reflection in the glass was a storm of fury and desperation. "I failed her," Selena whispered. "I failed my little girl." "No." His voice was raw, firm. "I failed you. I failed all of you. But I swear, Selena, I will bring her back." Selena's eyes blazed through her tears. "How can I trust you? Every time I let you close, something is ripped from me. My brother, my life, and now my daughter." Alex turned anguish in his eyes. "And yet you still breathe, still fight. Do you not see? I'm not your enemy, Selena. I am the only man who will burn this world to protect you." Her chest rose, fury clashing with the pull of his voice. For a fleeting instant, she saw not the man who had broken her heart, but the one who had once whispered promises under Paris skies. But she pushed it down. Words mean nothing. Actions do. His gaze softened. "Then watch me." Within hours, Alex had mobilized his empire. Satellites, informants, and private security teams combed the city. Selena joined, poring over files and tracing financial trails. She was sharper than any of his advisors, her intuition piercing through webs of deceit. At one point, she pushed a set of documents toward him, her finger tapping a suspicious transaction. "Here. A shell company tied to Vivian. Funds moved offshore to maintain properties under false names. One of them is in Montauk." Alex studied her, admiration flickering. "You've changed." Her lips curved bitterly. "Pain changes people." Far away, Ivy huddled in a cold room lined with marble floors and iron bars disguised as elegance. Vivian entered, her perfume sharp, her smile cruel. "You look just like her," Vivian murmured, brushing Ivy's cheek with manicured nails. "But don't think that will save you. You are nothing but leverage." Ivy's chin lifted with quiet defiance. "My mom will come, and when she does, you'll regret everything." Vivian's laugh was a blade. "Children's faith is charming, but the world belongs to those willing to destroy it." From the corner, Evelyn's voice slid like poison. "Break the girl's spirit, then Selena will follow." But even as fear clawed at her, Ivy repeated her silent mantra, "Be brave. For Mom. For my brothers." Back in Manhattan, Selena and Alex studied maps spread across the oak table. Their shoulders brushed as they leaned closer, and the faint warmth sent a shiver through her. "You still do this," she muttered. "Do what?" "Invade my space without asking." He smirked faintly. "Some things don't change." Their eyes met. A memory struck nights when they had worked side by side in the library of their old home, laughter mingling with candlelight. For a heartbeat, the world felt the same. Selena quickly looked away, her voice unsteady. "Focus, Alex. We don't have the luxury of nostalgia." But his gaze lingered, as if he could will her heart back to his. By dawn, the trail was clear. Montauk, a secluded villa perched above the Atlantic, owned through a labyrinth of companies. Selena's pulse quickened as she studied the images. "That's where she is." Alex nodded grimly. "Then that's where we'll go." But Selena felt something more profound beneath her determination, a flicker of hope that they were once united, fighting for the exact cause. The night wrapped around them like a cloak on the drive to Montauk. The children dozed in the back seat, save for Nova, who pretended to sleep while secretly listening. Selena stared out the window at the streak of stars. Alex's voice broke the silence. "Do you ever wonder what life would have been like if none of this had happened?" She closed her eyes every day. "Hate myself for it. Because even after everything, part of me still remembers how it felt to love you." The confession slipped like a wound reopening. Silence thickened heavy with unspoken truths. Alex reached for her hand, but she withdrew, trembling. "Don't. Not until Ivy is safe. In her gilded cage, Ivy whispered stories to herself, memories of her brother's laughter, her mother's lullabies. She refused to let fear erase them. She watched the guards closely, noting their routines. She listened to their conversations at night when they thought her asleep. She was her mother's daughter, sharp and observant. If rescue didn't come soon, she vowed she would find her way out. The villa loomed at the cliff's edge when Alex's convoy halted. Waves crashed violently below, as if the ocean raged against the house. Selena's heart pounded. She's inside. Alex studied her, his hand resting lightly on her arm. Stay close to me. If anything happens, I can handle myself. She cut in. His lips curved, pride flashing in his eyes. I know. That's what terrifies me. Together they moved into the shadows. Their breaths synchronized, their hearts bound by a single purpose: to bring Ivy home. Just as they prepared to breach, Selena's phone vibrated. An encrypted message flashed across the screen. Her blood ran cold as she read it. Marcus Victor has escaped prison. He's alive, and he's coming for you. Her knees buckled. The world tilted. Alex caught her confusion flooding his eyes. What is it? Selena's voice broke on a whisper. My brother. Marcus. He's free. And instantly she realized the rescue mission was no longer just about Ivy. The entire web of betrayal, past and present, was unraveling, and it was only the beginning. The night was thick with salt air and the roar of the Atlantic. Selena's phone still buzzed in her palm, the words glowing like a curse. Marcus Victor has escaped prison. Her breath came in ragged waves. It can't be. After all these years. Alex's hand gripped her shoulder, steady and grounding. Selena, focus. Ivy first. We'll deal with Marcus after. But in her chest, two fires clashed: maternal fear for her daughter and aching hope for her brother. As they crouched behind the dunes overlooking the villa, Selena whispered, What if Marcus has changed? Prison breaks a man. Alex's gaze was steady, though shadows clouded his eyes. Or it reveals him. You need to ask yourself, will he bring salvation or ruin when he comes? Selena's lips trembled. He was framed. You saw the video. Vivian destroyed his life. I saw a video and Alex corrected it softly. But evidence can be manipulated. Trust your instincts, Selena, but trust carefully. Her heart clenched. She hated him for planting doubt, yet hated herself more for letting it take root. Ivy traced the marble walls cracks inside the villa with her fingernail. She had counted the seconds between the guards' rotations. 16. Enough to slip something small beneath the door if only she had something to use. A memory surfaced. Her mother taught her to weave ribbons into knots strong enough to bind. Ivy reached into her pocket, pulling the red ribbon still tangled with her hair. She twisted it, tested its strength. When the guard returned, she flashed him a trembling smile. I'm thirsty. The man grunted, annoyed. He left a glass of water by the door. Ivy waited until his steps faded, then used the ribbon to wedge the lock. It wasn't freedom yet, but it was a start. Be brave, she reminded herself. Mom is coming. Back outside, Alex spread blueprints across the sand. 3 guards at the front, 2 at the back. Cameras along the east wall. His tone was clipped, efficient. Selena knelt beside him, brushing wind-blown hair from her face. Her eyes lingered on his profile, sharp jaw, eyes lit by moonlight. For a moment, he looked like the man she had once chosen without hesitation. You've always been like this, she murmured, almost to herself. Calculating, steady, even when the world falls apart. His gaze flicked to hers, softer now. And you've always been fire, untamed. You made me believe I could be more than a machine. Her chest ached. She turned away quickly. Don't. but her voice wavered, betraying the war inside her. A soft vibration interrupted them. Selena's phone lit again, this time with an encrypted number. Hands trembling, she answered. Selena. The voice was rough, older, but achingly familiar. Her heart stopped. Marcus. It's me. His breath came in quick bursts, as if he were running. I don't have much time. I escaped because I have proof. Proof that Vivian and Evelyn set me up. I can clear my name and protect you. Tears blurred her vision. Where are you? Not safe to say. But I'll find you. Trust me, sister. Don't let Alex blind you again. The line went dead. Selena stared at the screen, shaking. Alex's eyes narrowed. What did he say? She whispered. He says he has proof. And you believe him. I want to. Alex's silence was heavy, carved from doubt and pain. There was no more time. Midnight cloaked them as they approached the villa. Selena moved with surprising grace, her determination sharpening every step. Alex covered her silencing guards with swift precision. At the east wall, she turned off a camera with trembling fingers, recalling Marcus teaching her old tricks when they were children. The irony stung. Inside, the corridors smelled of salt and polished stone. Shadows stretched long, and every creak of the floorboards threatened to give them away. Selena's heart pounded as they neared the locked chamber. She whispered, She's here. I can feel it. Alex brushed her arm gently. Stay behind me. But she shook her head. Not this time. She needs her mother. Ivy heard the faint scuffle beyond her door. Her pulse soared. Mom, she whispered, pressing her ear to the wood. On the other side, Selena stilled. That voice, it was her daughter's, muffled but alive. Ivy. Selena choked, tears spilling. Baby, hold on. I'm here. Alex began working the lock, his jaw clenched with focus. The metal groaned. The door inched. A crash thundered through the hallway. Armed guards swarmed, their shouts filling the villa. Selena's scream tore the silence. No, Alex dragged her close, shielding her as bullets ricocheted off stone. His voice roared, We fight our way out. They fought like two halves of one storm. Selena striking with feral precision, Alex breaking through with brutal force. The air reeked of smoke and sweat, the villa trembling with chaos. Then through the haze a figure emerged. Tall, gaunt, his eyes burning with years of rage, Marcus Victor. Selena froze, her body caught between relief and terror. Marcus, she whispered. His gaze swept the corridor, then landed on Alex with venom. So, the tyrant still breathes. Alex raised his weapon, voice sharp. Stay back. Marcus stepped forward, unarmed but lethal in his fury. I'm not here for you, Alex. I'm here for her, and for the child they stole. Selena's heart thundered. Between the two men, past and present collided, and she realized that whatever happened next would change everything. The villa's marble corridors seemed to shrink under the weight of the storm inside. Gun smoke lingered, shadows shifted, and between the chaos stood three people whose fates had always been bound: Selena, Alex, and Marcus. Marcus's eyes were wild, sharpened by years of captivity and betrayal. He stepped closer, his voice a rasp of fury. You stole everything from me, Alex. My freedom, my sister's trust, and now her child. Alex leveled his weapon, but his voice cut low, dangerous. Don't twist this. The only reason she and the children are still breathing is because of me. Selena's heart hammered as she threw herself between them. Stop. This isn't the time. Ivy is here. She needs us. But neither man flinched, their hatred colliding like fire and steel. Marcus's chest rose ragged with fury. You think I don't see through you? The empire, the wealth, the control. Everything has always been about possession. Even Selena. Alex's eyes hardened, but his voice cracked with rawness. And you You disappeared when she needed you most. I was the one left to pick up the pieces. Because you and Vivian framed me, Marcus roared. Selena's breath caught. She turned to her brother, searching his face. Marcus, do you have proof? His gaze softened only for her. Yes. And when this is over, I'll show you. But first we get your daughter out. Inside the locked chamber, Ivy pressed her ear to the wood. She could hear voices raised, desperate, one of them her mother's. Her pulse soared. They're here. She tightened the makeshift wedge she had crafted from the ribbon and glass. With a quick twist, the lock clicked. The door opened just a crack. Peeking out, she saw two guards distracted by the chaos down the hall. Heart in her throat, she slid through the gap and darted behind a pillar. Her petite frame moved like a whisper through the shadows. I'm coming, Mom. The sound of gunfire thundered from deeper in the villa. Selena flinched, instinct screaming to run toward Ivy's voice. Alex grabbed her wrist. Not yet. It's a trap, Marcus snarled. Don't touch her. The men faced each other again, ready to clash. But then a scream echoed a child's cry. Selena's voice broke as she lunged forward. Both men froze, then followed her without hesitation. They found Ivy cornered in the hallway with two guards advancing. The little girl clutched her ribbon like a weapon, eyes fierce despite her fear. Please don't touch me, she shouted. Selena surged forward, her mother's roar unstoppable. Alex disarmed one guard with brutal speed. Marcus tackled the other, rage boiling over years of captivity. And then it was over. Ivy sobbed as Selena pulled her into trembling arms. My baby, Selena whispered, kissing her hair. I'm here. I'll never let them retake you. Alex lowered his weapon chest, heaving eyes shining with relief as he watched them. Marcus stood apart, blood on his knuckles, his gaze dark but protective. For one heartbeat, they were united. But the moment was shattered with the echo of heavy boots. Reinforcements flooded the villa. Vivian's men, armed and merciless. Alex's voice was sharp. We can't stay. We fight our way out together or we die here. Marcus's jaw tightened. This doesn't make us allies. But for her, he nodded at Selena. I'll fight. Selena clutched Ivy, her voice shaking but firm. Then both of you fight for her, for all of us. And so side by side, the billionaire and the fallen brother unleashed their fury. Steel met bone, bullets clashed with stone, and Selena shielded Ivy while guiding them through the chaos. The ocean wind hit their faces like salvation when they finally reached the villa's rear exit. But even amidst the storm, Selena felt torn in two. She saw Alex relentlessly, his body shielding her and their daughter. She saw Marcus fierce and unwavering, every strike a vow that he would never abandon her again. Her chest ached with conflicting love and loyalty. Alex caught her gaze, once eyes raw. I told you I'll burn the world for you. Marcus's voice followed, harsh but tender. And I'll clear the ashes so you can breathe again. Selena's tears blurred the horizon. She could not choose, not yet. Marcus reached into his coat as they hid in the cliffs beyond the villa. He pulled out a small drive, its casing scratched but intact. This, he said hoarsely, is part of the proof. Documents, recordings. They show Vivian and Evelyn orchestrated the night of your accident, Selena. You were never meant to live. Selena's breath hitched. Memories of fire shattered glass, and Alex's anguished cries surged back. Alex's fists clenched. Why tell her now? Because she deserves the truth. Marcus spat. Not your half measures. Selena's hands shook as she cradled Ivy. The truth had been buried for 6 years now. It clawed its way back, demanding to be heard. Ivy shifted in her mother's arms, her small voice breaking the silence. Mom, that woman with the green eyes, the one who gave me candy at the park weeks ago, was here tonight too. Selena froze. Her blood turned cold. green eyes. Vivian. Alex's expression darkened. Realization dawning. She's been closer than we thought. Watching. Waiting. Selena held Ivy tighter, heart pounding with dread. The war was no longer at their doorstep inside their lives. And for the first time, she wondered if love, loyalty, and even blood would be enough to survive what was coming. The cliffs of Montauk stretched dark against the Atlantic, but Selena could barely breathe. Ivy's words replayed in her mind like a haunting bell. The green-eyed woman gave me candy. Vivian. Selena clutched Ivy, tighter, rage and terror swirling. She's been watching us. Waiting. Alex's face hardened, a storm gathering in his eyes. Then it ends tonight. Marcus, pacing like a caged predator, snapped. You think we can strike unthinkingly? She knows every move you make. She's always known. Alex's jaw flexed. And what do you suggest? Marcus, run, hide while she stalks your niece like prey. Marcus turned on him, eyes aflame. At least I wouldn't drag them through a battlefield to prove my power. The words hit Selena like a blade. She spun, fury breaking through her trembling composure. Enough. This isn't about either of you. This is about my daughter, about all my children. If you can't hide your hatred, stay out of my way. For a moment, silence reigned. Both men froze, not at her anger, but at the quiet authority blazing in her eyes. By dawn, news broke like wildfire. Screens lit up across Manhattan with headlines. Alex Lewis Empire under siege. Hidden scandals revealed. Bank accounts. Private dealings. Even whispers of Selena's staged death resurfaced. Selena watched from the safe house, her stomach dropping. She's turning the world against you. Alex stood still, every muscle coiled, though his voice was calm. Vivian thinks exposing my empire will break me. She forgets I built it from fire. I can make it again. Marcus scoffed. While you fight to save your reputation, she'll come for Ivy again for all of them. Selena's heart twisted. Both were right. And both terrified her. That night, when the children slept, Selena found Alex alone on the balcony. The moon painted silver across his features, softening the storm in his eyes. You knew, she whispered, stepping closer. 6 years ago, the night I died. There's more you haven't told me. His silence was answer enough. Tears welled in her eyes. Why? Why bury me in half-truths? Alex turned, anguish raw in his gaze. Because if you had known everything, they would have killed you for real. I chose your life over your trust. Her breath broke. Pain tangled with longing. And in saving me, you destroyed us. He stepped closer, his hand trembling as it brushed hers. Selena, I never stopped loving you, not for a second. The world seemed to fall away. For a heartbeat, her lips parted, her body, leaning toward him until the sound of footsteps broke the spell. Marcus stood in the doorway, shadows cutting across his face. He said nothing, but the silence was louder than any accusation. It happened at dawn. A sudden crash, shouts, gunfire. Vivian's strike team stormed the safe house with ruthless precision. Selena dragged Ivy behind cover, shielding her with her body. Stay down, baby. Alex and Marcus fought like twin storms. One, a blade of ice, the other, a blaze of fury. Together, they cut through wave after wave, their differences drowned in blood and necessity. Selena's eyes burned as she watched. For all their hatred, they bled for the exact cause, her, their family. And for the first time, she wondered, was this fragile unity the only path forward? When the last intruder fell, silence returned, heavy with smoke. Selena held Ivy close, her hands still trembling. Alex approached, face smeared with blood, but his eyes softened when they found her. You're safe, he murmured. Marcus stood back, chest heaving, his gaze torn between pride and ache. Selena whispered, "No, we're not safe. Not until Vivian is gone." That evening, Marcus revealed another shard of his evidence files, encrypted names coded, but clear enough to draw blood. He placed the drive in Selena's hands. Vivian and Evelyn weren't acting alone. They had help from inside Alex's circle. Alex stiffened. Who? Marcus's eyes flicked to him, cold and deliberate. "Maybe someone you trust more than you should." Selena's heart froze. "You mean?" But before he could answer, a scream pierced the air. "Nova!" Selena bolted from her seat, heart in her throat. "Where is she?" One of the guards stumbled in, pale. "She's gone. They took her." Selena's knees buckled. Alex caught her before she fell, his arms wrapping around her trembling frame. Her voice cracked with agony. "Not again. Please, not again." Alex's jaw hardened. "We'll get her back." Marcus's voice was a low growl. "Vivian just declared war." Selena pressed the drive against her chest, Ivy sobbing in her arms. The walls seemed to close in her world, fracturing. Her brother stood on one side, her former love on the other, and her stolen child in the shadows cried for her. Selena lifted her head, eyes blazing through her tears. "Then let this war end with me." And in that vow, the battle for love, family, and survival reached its breaking point. The storm outside mirrored the one raging within Selena's chest. Nova was gone. Vivian's merciless stole the child's laughter, and her curious eyes into the night hand. Stole the child's laughter, and her curious eyes into the night. Selena stood in the dimly lit room, fists trembling. Ivy clung to her waist, whispering, "Mom, bring her back." Selena bent down, pressing a kiss to Ivy's hair. Her voice was steady, though her heart quaked. "I promise, sweetheart. We'll bring her home." Alex's silhouette loomed in the shadows, every muscle coiled like steel. Vivian thinks she's won. She hasn't faced a father willing to burn the world for his child. Marcus stepped forward, fire in his eyes. And she hasn't faced a brother who's lost everything already. This time I lead. I know her traps. Selena looked between them. Two men, shaped by war, both claiming the right to shield her. But this time, she straightened her back, her voice cutting through the air. "No, I lead. She took my daughter." She underestimated a mother's fury, and neither man dared argue. Maps sprawled across the table, inked with red marks of Vivian's hideouts. Selena traced the one circled near the Hudson docks. "She'll keep Nova here," she said. "Close to the river, easy escape routes. And Evelyn will be with her." Alex frowned. "Evelyn will sell Vivian out the second it suits her. We can use that." Marcus's jaw clenched. "Or she'll sell us." Selena's gaze burned. "Then we force them to turn on each other, divide their power, end it all." She turned to Alex, then Marcus. "You fight for me, for them. Tonight this war ends." The docks reeked of oil and salt. Night cloaked their figures as they approached the warehouse, every step a drumbeat of fate. Inside, Vivian's laughter rang out, icy triumphant. "Ah, Selena, you always had a flair for survival. But tonight, you'll lose what you love most." Nova's cry pierced the air. Selena's body surged forward, but Alex gripped her wrist. "Wait for the signal." Marcus flanked left, his movement silent as shadow. Then the lights blazed, revealing rows of armed men. And at the center, Vivian's emerald eyes glinting like poison, Evelyn lurking beside her with a serpent smile. Chaos erupted. Gunfire shattered the night. Selena shielded her ears from the roar, dragging Ivy into cover, while Alex charged forward, ruthless and unyielding. Marcus cornered Evelyn, voice sharp. "End this. Testify, clear my name, or I swear you won't walk out." Evelyn smirked, slipping a dagger from her sleeve. "And lose my empire." Don't be naive. But then Vivian snapped at her traitorous rat. You were always waiting to betray me. The two women clashed, their alliance fracturing exactly as Selena had predicted. Selena's heart thudded as she spotted Nova bound to a chair at the far end of the hall. Nova, she screamed, breaking cover. Bullets whizzed by, but she didn't stop. A guard lunged, but she fought with a ferocity born of love. Every strike was a vow, every tear a blade. She reached her daughter, slicing the ropes with trembling hands. Nova sobbed into her arms. Mommy. Selena held her tight. You're safe now. I've got you. Behind them, Alex's roar echoed as he shielded them, a bullet grazing his side. He staggered, but stayed upright, his eyes never leaving Selena. Marcus forced Evelyn to the ground, pressing the drive into her trembling hand. Say it. Say I was framed. Fear cracked her mask. Yes. Vivian set you up. She needed a scapegoat. You were the perfect pawn. Selena's tears spilled as she heard it. Marcus, her brother, finally freed from the chains of lies. Vivian shrieked, lunging with venomous rage. But Alex caught her, forcing her weapon aside. You destroyed lives, he hissed. This ends now. And with one final strike, Vivian's empire crumbled in fire and blood. Smoke curled above the river as the first light of dawn broke. Selena stood at the water's edge, Nova in her arms, Ivy clutching her hand. Alex approached, his shirt torn, blood drying on his skin. His eyes, though weary, softened as they found her. He knelt, pulling a small velvet box from his pocket, scarred from the battle but intact. Selena. His voice cracked, raw and bare. 6 years ago, I lost you once. I'll never survive losing you again. Marry me. Let's build the forever they tried to steal. Tears blurred her vision. For so long she had doubted, feared, resisted. But here, with her daughters safe, her brother vindicated, and the man who had fought every demon for her kneeling at her feet, her answer was clear. Yes, she whispered, then louder, fiercer. Yes. The children cheered, laughter mingling with the dawn. Months later, the sun kissed the shores of a quiet beach. White petals scattered in the breeze, music soft as waves. Selena walked down the aisle in ivory, her daughters carrying flowers before her. Alex waited at the altar, his smile breaking through the years of scars. Marcus stood apart, a faint smile ghosting his lips. He had chosen his path, freedom, redemption. And though he walked away, Selena knew his heart was finally at peace. The vows were spoken, rings exchanged. The crowd erupted in joy when Alex pulled Selena into his arms, sealing their forever with a kiss. Love had survived betrayal. The family had survived the war. And happiness, hard-earned, belonged to them at last. The story of Selena and Alex comes to an end here, a journey of love, loss, revenge, and healing. At which moment did you shed tears? When Selena threw herself into the line of fire to save her daughter? When Alex knelt and proposed amidst the smoke and chaos? Or when the children were finally reunited in their mother's arms? Share your feelings in the comments. If you believe that love is strong enough to overcome all pain, hit like and share this video to spread that belief. And don't forget to follow along for the next stories, where love always finds its way home.